order, that's what these owners respect more than anything. They respect money. Like I told you, this is a very tight knit group. But and Diddy is totally different. Just the same way Mark Cuban was. Mark Cuban is a different person. But when Diddy was out there talking about trying to buy the Panthers, there were a couple things that I was like, okay, that is something that I wouldn't have said. One was he started talking about it immediately, even though we all thought about it. I definitely thought about it before he said it because it is true. But he said he would have amazing halftime shows. And at this point, it's like, okay, Diddy, but you're right. You're absolutely right in what you're saying. You would have, halftime shows, and all that stuff. But halftime is really only 12 minutes. It says 15, but it's 12 because they got to get everybody back, and all this stuff. The kicker come out, the punter come out, and they practicing and all this stuff. So I don't know if I would have just led with that, or one of the things that I would have brought up as far as like what I can do now, because we know he's an entertainer. So yeah, you're right. It's going to be very entertaining. You maybe he keep a few people in their seats, but a lot of people has been sitting there, for 30 minutes plus, actually probably an hour plus, in their chair. And when halftime comes, they want to get something to eat. They want to go to the bathroom. They want to stretch their legs. They want to do something. They want to get on the phone and all that stuff. So, it may not be necessarily, people just sitting there saying, oh my gosh, such and such is going to perform, The other thing is, and I think this is the biggest thing, because it's like, you don't want to go into a situation holding a match with gasoline draws on. He made the comment about creating a quarterback competition between Colin Kaepernick and Cam Newton? No. That is not what you want to go in there. One, Cam is beloved, by a lot of people in Carolina, in Charlotte. You don't want to rock that boat. Two, Colin Kaepernick, don't get me wrong. Colin Kaepernick is a bad dude. Colin Kaepernick, I just don't think, because he's like, it's just competition. It's just competition. Cam doesn't need any competition. Cam's been to the Super Bowl, just like Kaepernick has been to the Super Bowl. They both lost, but they both been to the Super Bowl. And to me, if you ask me, if you're going to compare, I got to get a nod to Cam. Cam is a better, quarterback than Colin Kaepernick. Cam is established in there. Cam is in the community, there. Why would you want to ruffle the feathers, of the fans there by creating a controversy or a competition that you don't need? Not with Colin Kaepernick. Now, if he had said something like, hey, I'm going to bring Brady in here or whatever, then some people might be like, okay, wait a minute. Yeah, that's the name of the show. Wait a minute. Let me think about this, So those moves doesn't help his case. It's still early, very early in the process. We know Steph Curry wants in on this deal. He is from the Charlotte area, so that will be a good look. I think Diddy is a smart guy. I'm sure he would surround himself with the necessary, income and backing that he would need. But, there's going to be more than one person, and there's going to be this whole interview process, to it. And whoever gets this team, whoever purchased this franchise, the first thing that they're going to have to do, they're going to have to assure the city, and this may be in their agreement, it should be in their agreement, that the team is not moving. I really don't want to see a situation like it was in St. Louis. Stan Kroenke buys the St. Louis Rams and then moves them to L.A. I don't want that. It's hard. One, is hard, but two, I don't want to see fans, especially like Carolina. They haven't had the Panthers that long. I know a lot of people think that they've been around a long time. They really have not been around that long. They're an expansion team themselves. Carolina didn't have any team until the Panthers came along. So I wouldn't want to take that, away from them. The other thing, I don't know, what they would do with management. Hopefully they would keep management, but probably they go in a different direction. But if you do that, you got to, whoever you bring in, it's going to have to be like Tom Coughlin-ish. Yeah. It's going to have to be like Tom Coughlin. I don't know who that is, but the last thing you want is to take over what this franchise has done. They're in competition right now to make the playoffs. Like I just said, they were just at the Super Bowl not too long ago. And you got a guy in Cam Newton. Look like you got some other pieces around him where y'all can make a run, for the next, 2 or 3 years and try and be in it. You don't want someone to come in here and destroy that. Whoever it is. That's not about Diddy. It's just whoever. Because everybody's the Panthers been to the Super Bowl twice. It's just they lost. So in their short history, they've been to the Super Bowl twice. That's commendable. That's commendable for a franchise and for owner and the executives in that franchise. You don't want to mess that up. You don't want to set a team back, especially with their fan base. So, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't sent any shouts out to people that's in the Wait a Minute Show chat room, so I'll do that right now. But to just update some of the people that jumped in here, I want to tell everyone that the Wait a Minute Show toy drive, if you haven't heard, we did reach our goal of $1,000. So we were able to help supply toys to kids, about 60 to 70 kids. So I want to thank everybody for that. So I appreciate all the help that you gave me. And we did that. Not me. We did that. But shouts out to my man Kesey that's in the chat room. Miss Mocha Bella. I am so happy if you're online right now live. Miss Mocha Bella's face is actually on her avatar. She had lost a bet to this other brother in here. So she had the Buffalo Bills logo. So it's good that she's back. But shouts out to Mocha Bella, and also shouts out to Rough Buff, a.k.a. Fuqua Shabazz, a.k.a. Bills Mafia. Also, Big L is in the building. Shouts out to Big L. Shouts out to Dat Ninja. Shouts out to Tiffany Sports and Heels, who's also in the building. And a special shout out to Holly Newsom. Thank you for dropping in. My man Sid Galloway is in here as well. And my man Kyron and DJ Knox is bringing it up the rear. So appreciate y'all for joining in to the show. So we've been talking about, this whole Panthers being sold and all this stuff. And it's just, you can't mess up what this franchise is doing right now. They're in a transition. They're transitioning over to McCaffrey. They're, going back to letting Cam run, a little bit. You don't want to, maybe disrupt the coaching staff, and you definitely don't want to uproot this team. So if you come in, you get the Carolina Panthers, you got to stay. You can't, and don't come in here that you got the magic plan, kind of like, was it Daniel Snyder, if I remember right, the Redskins owner. He kind of came in and was just like, you know what? I'm just going to buy everything. I'm going to buy it and we're going to win. And that didn't work out, So you got to let the football people football, and then you just sit back and if you're the owner, be the owner, Now, earlier we were talking about Kobe Bryant, Kyron, calm down, but Kobe Bryant and his retirement. And I told you that Kobe would probably he'll be in the Hall of Fame sooner than later. So what I meant by that is that the Hall of Fame of basketball, because it's not the NBA Hall of Fame, because it encompasses more than that, college and women's professional basketball and all that. So it's all that in one. But the Hall of Fame has decided to shorten its wait time to 3 years. So you only got to wait 3 years to get in to the Hall of Fame. Ain't that good, kids? Yeah. And I like this 3 years thing because it's just like once when a guy is done, after about 3 years, I think 3 years is enough because if they're gone for 3 years, they're not coming back. And even if they did come back, so what? Whatever they accomplished before they came back, they were either going to be a Hall of Famer or not. So that's, to me, that's not a big deal as far as like, we got to make them wait, long enough. Your stats are your stats, and your stats will tell, the story about your career. Your championships will tell the story about your career, and then who you are as a person, will tell, tell your situation if you're a Hall of Famer, or not. But yeah, 3 years. Now, the thing about the whole 3 year thing is that we're going to have a mush of players that are going to be eligible when they originally would not have been. And what I mean by that is that, of course, Kobe is going to be eligible in 3 years, right? Right. So you had where he originally, if I remember right, it was 5 years. So you would have had someone at that 3 year mark that will be eligible in 3 years. They would have been at 5. They're going to actually have to compete with Kobe. So it's going to be a little testy because it's not like they're going to, increase the number of people that can get in. I don't think they will, but the one thing, what's this? 2017. So the people that's coming up now, like I give you a list of people who are coming up. And these are the players who appeared in the 2013-2014 season. Steve Nash, Ray Allen, Chauncey Billups, Jermaine O'Neal, Antoine Jameson, Derek Fisher, Steven Jackson, Shane Battier. Now, of course, some of those guys, I think, they'll have to wait. Like Sean Marion, Kenyon Martin, and all that stuff. But then you're going to have like, let me see, I'm looking at my list right now. This year is going to be, because they got pushed up, because this was 2012, 2013, Jason Kidd, Grant Hill, Rasheed Wallace, Richard Hamilton, Marcus Camby, Lamar Odom, Juwan Howard, and Jerry Stackhouse. Now remember, these players are not getting into the Hall of Fame just for their professional careers. They're getting in for their whole body of work, So a guy like Marcus Camby, he may not have been the uber superstar, in the NBA, but he was a monster in college basketball. They're going to give him credit, for that. Jerry Stackhouse, he did it on both college and on the professional. We already know about Jason Kidd, Grant Hill. Those will probably already get in. But I'm just saying, get ready for a major debate to start, because with this whole 3 year change, you're going to have a big group of players that are going to be eligible, and you're only going to have a few slots. Now, the other thing that I'm worried about is that, and I don't know the answer to this, so I'll be honest, is that I don't know if when they go by the Hall of Fame, if they go by, are you going to put one coach in? We're going to put one, person from maybe college and one person